So I've noticed there's definitely a new trend picking up in the stacking community. It seems to be getting a lot of traction, and I'm not sure whether it's, to get views or to get more engagement from, the community, but I think it definitely has its pros and cons. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about auctions, live silver auctions. And I think there's definitely some good things about it because it's definitely engaging, especially if you have a channel that's, pretty loyal and pretty interested in what you have as far as your stack. But also, I think it's good to, be able to trade out your pieces to other enthusiasts in the community. That's always a good thing, right? So it's interesting. I've never really paid too much attention when I'm actually in the, in the live auctions about how they work. I'm pretty sure it's pretty straightforward. But I think the thing that's interesting to me is that, how much people will bid up stuff that normally they could get for, a little bit cheaper price. And so I wonder if it's, for the creators, if it's a good, monetary, strategy to be able to actually, gain some value from selling your stack, which is always good. It's actually pretty clever, right? Because, so many stackers don't sell any, silver or gold at all. But then they, if you do a GAW, that's kind of a good way to kind of mask the fact that hey, I'm actually selling something. So pretty interesting. Myself, I don't, like I said, I don't really look forward to doing anything like that. Mainly because, not that I have anything against it, but mainly because I don't like selling my stack piece by piece. The only things I'd be willing to kind of sell would be the less desirable pieces. Not that there wouldn't be people out there that would buy them, but it's just not something I'm really interested in doing at this point. I've also heard kind of mixed reviews about the whole silver auctions and stuff like that. So I think it's one of those things. It's like, if it really is your thing, then you participate in it. But I'm wondering if there's something that, I'm missing about the silver GAWs or silver auctions. Everyone loves a silver GAW. Don't get me wrong. This is the Perth Platinum Penguin. If I wouldn't have said anything, you probably would have thought it's just silver. But no, this is platinum. This is where it's at. But no, I think definitely there's probably some things that I, haven't considered with regard to the silver auctions. And the cool part too, one of the interesting things I was thinking about with regard to silver, and the people who don't sell their stock, it's interesting because I was thinking to myself, what if, I'm not sure if you heard this story about here in California, pretty close to where I grew up, there was the $2 billion Powerball winner. Was it Powerball or Mega Million? Anyway, this dude, like a normal looking dude, like totally normal looking dude that you would see around here. It's funny, I'm asking myself, this guy doesn't even look like the type that would buy a lottery ticket, but on the big ones, everybody comes out of the woodwork to get to make purchases. But anyway, there's some other person saying that the ticket was actually his and it was stolen and blah blah blah, and so they're gonna go to court over it or whatever it is they're gonna do. But my understanding is the lottery has videotape. They require that you have full videotape at your location when you sell lottery tickets in order to be able to sell them. And I heard too that whenever they identify where the winning ticket was sold, that the next day the lottery commission goes out there and pulls the tapes so that when somebody does make the claim, they have an idea of who purchased the ticket. Interesting. Anyway, the reason that came up was because I was thinking, let's say the LCS, the LCS, deals with a lot of, high volume, right? Their idea is to kind of take it in, buy it, and then get it out the door as quickly as possible. Turnover is the name of the game for the LCS. But the interesting part is, let's say, for example, hypothetically, you went to the LCS and something slipped through the cracks and you just bought, something that they just had laid out there. As far as bullion, some coins or rounds or things like that. And you just got normal price on them and you didn't think anything of it. Well, the interesting part is, what if you really had something of value and you really had no idea and it was just sitting there in your stack, as part of your generic bullion or your coins or whatever, and you just never found out because, you don't actually circulate your stack. pretty interesting. And I was thinking that myself earlier, watching one of the auctions, and I was just like, wouldn't it be funny if someone was auctioning something, without realizing that that it was worth far more than whatever they were auctioning it off for. Now, the interesting part too is that I would assume that if that was happening, their viewers would tell them, hey, no, that's, you don't want to get rid of that. That's a blah, 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 and it's worth, way more than what you're selling it for, or something like that. But interesting thought, you know what I mean? And I think that's funny because you never think of things like that, again, with so many people that don't transition any part of their stack, for sale. You would never know. No one would ever be able to, tell you, because you just keep it locked away somewhere. Interesting. But again, I'm always wondering, like, what is the draw about the auctions? Because do you think you're going to see something that you've never seen before? Is it that you think, you're going to find, or is it more just about supporting the channel that you like? For me, that's the reason I, actually joined a live auction that I caught just by chance from Silver Oceans. It's just because, like, he seems like a cool guy. I wanted to support his channel, support his content, and thought, hey, why not throw a few cents his way, for some cool things. He actually did, with what he sent me from the auction, he actually threw in a few freebies too, which was pretty cool. I appreciate that. If you're watching this, Silver Oceans, I do appreciate that. He's also a Californian from a little further south, closer to San Diego, but same neck of the woods, geographically. But again, there's so many pros and cons, so many cool things about, whatever, comes to you from the auction. So let me know. Are you one of those people who enjoys live auctions? And really, what is it that you get out of it? Do you participate to see what this person has for auction? Or is it more just about joining because you support the channel?